Education is the key to a bright future.
Hello everyone, this is Bridget, founder of empowermefirst.college. In this module, we look more in depth at what it means to create engaging quizzes and assignments that offer practice, application and learning opportunities. Quizzes and assignments that offer learning opportunities are very motivating and effective. There are many ways how students can do quizzes that offer learning opportunities. One of the methods they can learn in quizzes is through feedback. When we give explanations why an answer is wrong, or we give hints to help them solve a problem. Don't make the quizzes too easy. Learning from mistakes is very important and they can always redo them. Even multiple choice, true, false or gapped questions can be quite challenging. We can of course keep the challenge on the learning by heart level, but that just tests if students can concentrate and the question is, will they remember what they don't understand or what they are not interested in? In general, there's room for standardized quiz questions. You can take them from past exams and create variations of them. But don't limit your quizzes to these forms of questions. Yes, if students want to take the national exam, they need to be able to deal with standardized questions. The same goes for many exam questions at university. But these standardized questions don't assess a person's ability to do well at university or at the workspace. So do ensure you find a balance between standardized questions and questions that test students' ability to cross-link, understand the context of a problem and find their own solutions. A very effective way of creating more challenging quiz questions is by using case studies or giving a passage or problem for them to analyze. You might even want to hide a mistake and ask the students to find it. One way of making a quiz more challenging is also by using multiple choice questions with a number of answers and not letting the students know how many are right. You even can give minus points for wrong answers. Making a quiz challenging should provoke students to want to understand what they did wrong and to improve. So make sure that they can retake the quizzes as often as they want. The quizzes don't count towards the semester grading, but they allow the students to prepare for similar questions at the semester and final exams. We have options for gamification. Simply create a game and link it to the quiz or a glossary. In fact, games and quizzes are great to practice terms and vocabulary. Don't link to outside games as they may not work well in Moodle and there might be problems with copyright. Create as many quiz questions as possible and use a mix of standardized and critical thinking questions. Ideally, you have 3 levels of about 15 to 20 questions each. For example, the first level would be questions on terminology, dates, etc. Simple learning by heart questions. The second level would be analysis. The third, interpretation or application. In maths or science, you might start with easier problems or problems that are very similar to the examples and make them more and more challenging. From each set of questions, create a few similar ones for the unit test. Students have to pass the unit test in order to do the assignment or move on to the next unit. Put all questions that you find useful for the final and semester exams in the question bank with an answer key. The third assessment of each semester is a 15-minute oral exam. The local tutors will use questions from the question bank. So ensure that you create a clear key alongside the questions. At this point, a quick reminder. Please upload all your work on a drive for your team to see. This will also allow you to check in other subjects how they do it. There's no one way to do it. Just keep the students' learning success in mind. Let's now look at assignments. These are key to learning success and should offer learning opportunity alongside of testing student progress. There are a few key goals to successful assignment. Basically, the goal is that the students reach mastery level through an assignment. A successful assignment should allow us to measure and understand student progress and what they still need to learn. It is our job as authors and the job of the tutors who assess them to guide them with clear and helpful feedback. One of the key objectives of assignments is to give students a learning opportunity. If students feel they have learned a lot from doing a test or assignment, then we test well. The best learning opportunity for students are assignments in which they apply and interlink knowledge. Traditional assignments are research papers. Yes, of course they need to learn how to structure an essay or a paper. But these are very formal tests and students don't need to write 20 essays to know how to write an essay, if they have been given clear instructions of how to do so in the first place. So don't shy away from giving them a variety of tasks, which get them ready for university and the workplace. What skills does a successful student at uni and a successful young professional need? When you started at uni or with your first job, what were the skills you found the hardest to learn or wished someone had taught you at school? Was it presenting, structuring, and keeping time? Giving a focused, in-depth account of your research findings. Let this guide you in your assignments. If you keep that in mind, you will be able to integrate such skills as part of an assignment, be it making a PowerPoint video presentation, making a speech, describing and analyzing an experiment, becoming an innovator or an entrepreneur. Your assignment should also test if a student is able to interlink different pieces of knowledge, be it across units in your subject, be it to use this knowledge to understand another subject, or their own environment. From these goals, we create an assessment scheme that tests deeper understanding of your subject. This means, while formal aspects are important, they shouldn't exceed 20% of the points. Rather test if the students understand the unit, if they understand how to use and interlink their acquired knowledge. Besides the subject knowledge, try to include a variety of skills that students need to use to show how they understand and apply. This can include creative and practical skills. As mentioned before, ensure that throughout the 4 semesters of standard and 2 semesters of higher level, don't give more than 1 essay and 1 report. Remember that the students are doing 5 to 8 subjects, some even more. So that will be a lot of writing and marking. Check with other subjects to find out what the students already know. In English, they learn speech and report writing in the first semester, making presentations in the second, and essay writing in the third. Create a clear marking scheme that allows for encouraging feedback and unbiased marking. Upload the marking scheme together with clear instructions so the students will know before they start what is expected of them. We also suggest that you train the tutors on how to mark the assignments. Best mark a few assignments together to create a standard. We want to reach as many students as possible and give them quality education. Quality education is not so much assured by the number of hours teachers spend marking, but rather by the quality of instructions, practice, and self-test opportunity. Above all, by guiding students in finding their learning and problem-solving skills, and by constructive feedback. Concepts like the longer an essay, the better a student are simply wrong. It's a far better skill to be able to communicate complex research findings in a 5-minute presentation using the right type of graphs and illustrations, or to show creativity in problem solving. If, for example, students are asked to think of a solution about food waste and they come up with new recipes for chutneys and prepare a business plan for selling them to local restaurants or shops. So think of what you are looking to test and think of an assignment that is as time efficient as possible for the person who needs to grade it. Every semester has 3 assignments. The first is an assignment just in your subject. The second is an interdisciplinary assignment. And the last is an oral exam on the semester. Your creativity is needed to come up with the most effective assignments. The first assignment is an assignment just for the subject. This assignment tests both subject knowledge and critical thinking. This can, for instance, in maths, be to ask a student to explain the unit problems to his little sister in a way that she can understand it and record himself doing so. It can be asking the students to express and solve a practical problem in mathematical terms. In the sciences, it can be conducting an experiment, describing and measuring it, and analyzing the results. In English, this can be writing a poem or speech. In global citizenship, analyzing the geographic, economic, global, and historical reasons for unstable electricity. In all of the above examples, students are expected to use a variety of skills. Try to plan the use of different skills throughout the semesters in your team and double check with the syllabi of other subjects to ensure that the students have already acquired skills. This will, of course, be even more important for the interdisciplinary assignments. As an example, in English, students learn learn about presenting, speech and report writing in the first semester, but have not yet studied essay writing. So choose a skill that they already know. Ensure there's an element of application in your assignment. These can be creating a video or audio podcast, conducting an experiment, observing and recording change, for example, the growth of the same types of plants in different soils, community teaching, do-it-yourself innovations such as a windmill, a fruit dryer against food waste, a water heater, and. As mentioned, it's good to know what other subjects are planning at approximately the same time as students will take the assignment in your subject. Plan the interdisciplinary assignment for mid-semester. In the first semester English course, students learn about report writing, so you can plan for a report in your subject. But why not check with other subjects like maths or business studies, as there might be an even better fit for your assignment. Trigger our students' abilities to apply and become creative. Some ideas are video presentations, podcasts, community teaching, practical skills, DIY. There's so many more. Maybe a student comes up with a business idea from the application. For example, learning about hygiene, a student could create a business making soaps and then market it online based on what she learned in business studies. Or learning about food waste, a student builds her own food dryer and again sells the dried fruits online. Why not try to inspire students to become innovators? For this, they need to have the knowledge. For example, if there's electricity shortage and the students understand how compost creates biogas, she can create a biogas cooker and sells the compost at the same time, making a business from collecting compostable waste. So why not give a few examples of simple innovations and set them a problem for which they have to find a solution. The oral exam is at the end of the semester and tests students' knowledge of the semester. It's a 15-minute test the students need to arrange with their tutors. So create an assignment in the middle of the last unit telling the students they have to arrange a test appointment with the tutors in 2 to 3 weeks and should give themselves enough time to revise and go over all the quizzes for the semester. As mentioned before, put all lesson and unit questions in the question bank. Best categorize questions as just lesson test and exam questions. For the exam questions, choose a variety of questions. Some can be standardized questions, some can test application, cross-link and critical thinking. There should also be some questions as reflection of the assignments. It's essential to create an extended answer key. This means you give hints and explanation of why something is correct and how a student should get to the solution. There should also be some overall questions that assess how well a student can connect what she has learned in the semester and ideally with other subjects and in her daily life.